Then the critics came. Everybody was saying, oh, he went to Weber State. He's only 6'2". He's not really that athletic. He didn't play against competition. He's 22 years old. Anything they could think of to put an end to me, that was what they were saying. I proved it up. I'm not afraid to say I went into it. I didn't care who wanted to be my friend. I didn't care what people thought about me. I went into workouts. I showed them what I knew I could do.
From being the undersized, slept-on point guard coming out of high school to making it out of some of the most infested streets, Damian Lillard had a plan ever since a kid, and that was to make it into the pros. And even when it seemed as though that practically everybody downplayed his vision, he just stayed with it and slowly developed into a superstar every single year. This is the Damian Lillard story. Born on July 15, 1990 in Oakland, California, Damian Lillard started off in unfortunate situations as he was around a lot of crime every single day, and a lot of his friends and people he hung around found themselves getting into illegal activity, which led to trouble. Now, Damian from the get-go told himself that he wasn't going to get into none of that. Now, Lillard would start playing football, and at the very beginning, he was a kid who was scared of the physicality of the sport. And his family would constantly pick at him because of it, telling him, you're scared to get back out there, or you're scared of all that contact. But after his older brother and cousin took him outside and hit him harder than any kid could ever hit him, just 2 years later, Lillard won Defensive Player of the Year. Just the fact that they was able to put the confidence inside of him really did help him in the future get through a lot of things. From there, he believed that he could do anything, and shortly after, he started to fall in love with basketball. So that, along with the support of his family, constantly reminding him as a young teen to always put your head down into whatever you want to be, really helped him as he got to high school, especially when he joined the varsity team as just a freshman while standing at only 5'5". But by the end of his sophomore year, he had already grew to be 5'9", but still, he was hardly getting any type of playing time, and nobody seemed to be invested in his play style. His coach even told him his chances of making the NBA were zero. But fortunately for Damian, he did get a lot of playing time on the local youth club by the name of the Oakland Rebels. It would be there to when Lillard made his first game-winning shot. Now, as crazy as it sounded, it would all be a learning experience for him, because as his squad was playing in a local tournament and was the underdog in the elimination game against future NBA player Jerryd Bayless, Dame clearly showed where he was the best scorer on his team, but everyone had their attention on Bayless. The game between the two all came down to one final possession, and as the Rebels were down by 2, Lillard caught the offensive rebound and dribbled behind the three-point line, and the rest was history.
I just raised up for 3 with a dude right in my face. He right underneath me. I raise up, I hit the 3, and I go crazy.
So much so, he took his jersey off yelling in excitement. But it was still 2 seconds left on the clock, and because the ref saw him shirtless, Lillard would get a technical foul called on him, which did result in the opposing team getting 2 free throws. And as Jerryd Bayless converted on both of the free throws, Lillard and his squad would lose the game. There, as a junior, Damian felt straight embarrassed, but promised himself that he'd never ever lose his mind like that again. As a senior, Lillard averaged 22 points and 5 assists per game. Now, the downside to him was that he was only listed as 6 foot and 165 pounds. No major D1 programs gave him a look, as he was only a 2-star recruit, and he had only racked up offers from Weber State, Wichita State, St. Mary's, and San Diego State. But he took his talents to Utah and chose to sign a letter of intent to play college basketball at Weber State. As a freshman, he averaged 11 points, which was pretty solid, but it just wasn't good enough to turn heads at the next level. But as a sophomore, he made a significant improvement to 20 points a contest, but also went on to lead his crew to the conference championship. And because of that, he ended that year becoming Conference Player of the Year. He just kept developing every single game, so much so he would start seeing his name on draft boards. But out of nowhere, he would experience a setback because Lillard would go on to break his foot during his junior season, which did result in him being out for the remainder of the year. And just like that, his name completely disappeared from all the mock drafts. At that point in time, he worked extremely hard to come back, as he wanted to prove the doubters that he wasn't finished. And from all the ball handling skills that he did when he was out to shooting in a chair, little did anybody know that it would transform him into a straight problem that next season. As a redshirt junior, Lillard was able to maintain averages of 24 points and finish second in the nation in scoring and won another Player of the Conference award. By now, he was regarded as the best point guard in all of college basketball, which led him to enter the 2012 NBA draft.
The Portland Trail Blazers select Damian Lillard of Weber State University.
What a rise for the guard from Oakland, California.
Now it was up as soon as his rookie season came forward, because in his season debut against the Lakers, he recorded a double-double, putting up 23 points and 11 assists, which allowed him to join Oscar Robertson as well as Allen Iverson as the only players in NBA history with at least 20 points, 10 assists in their NBA debut. Now, prior to his NBA season coming about, he promised his mother that he was going to win Rookie of the Year. And from the ice in his veins to the relentless type work ethic that he displayed throughout his rookie season, he did that. He became the first player in NBA history to win every single Rookie of the Month award, and just the fourth player to win Rookie of the Year unanimously. In year 2, not only did his team tremendously improve, he became a first-time All-Star, but wasn't finished, as he put his crew on his back in the first round versus the Rockets in Game 6 of his very first own NBA playoffs.
It's Lillard. He got the shot off. Lillard, good! Good! And the Blazers win the series for the first time in 14.
By year 7, he put on display one of the most historic playoff moments in NBA history.
Lillard with 47 tonight, working it down to 2-1, a deep three. Oh! What? Blazers win the series, a walk-off.
When you defended it about as well as you can, at some point you got to let a guy shoot that, don't you? And just live with the results.
Yeah. I mean, that's a bad shot. I don't care what anybody says, that's a bad shot. But hey, he made it. That story won't be told that it was a bad shot.
In 2020, he had his best regular season in the NBA, as he put up averages of 30 points, 8 assists, but also had another spectacular season the next year, as he averaged 29 points, 8 assists. Now in 2022, he did get hurt and only played 29 games, but in 2023, he returned. And on February 26, Lillard scored a career high as he put up 71 points in a win versus the Rockets. Now, after missing the playoffs, his crew was able to earn the 3rd overall pick in the 2023 NBA draft. And after selecting point guard Scoot Henderson with the 3rd pick, after 11 hard-fought years that Damian had put forth, he finally requested a trade, despite his beliefs on staying loyal and not running from the grind. So after he specifically intended on going to Miami, months later, he was finally moved, but to Milwaukee. Over the last decade, Damian Lillard has prioritized bringing a championship to Portland. Throughout that time, many people have labeled him someone who underperforms in the most important games. But just like how he proved all the doubters wrong as a kid, he has a chance to finally get over that hump and win a ring with Giannis.
You know, I wasn't a highly touted middle school player, high school player, or college player. You know, I had to do my work behind the scenes. I had to earn my way. And I didn't know that I was going to ever get the credit for it or ever get the results for it. So I know what it's like to be unknown and to, you know, not have the lights on you and to want to be seen and want a scholarship to a big school and things like that. I was behind the scenes doing the work. So I don't forget those steps that it took for me to get here.
And with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, this is the Damian Lillard story.